Hey guys, welcome to the Zafina tutorial for Tekken 7. I'll have timestamps in the description below so you can check out for punishment, for combos, for key moves, and a little introduction as well. So I'll start with the introduction. So Zafina has some stances, yes, but you can play pretty well without the stances or much usage of the stances because she's actually a quite basic dry character at core. She has multiple like good pokes, and then she has the best movement in the game, arguably right now. So that's really worth noting. She's might be the best movement in the game, even over Alisa, Kasumi, and all them. So what she's all about is bullying people with pokes and then backdashing to make them whiff with her. She's a really good sidestep and a really good backdash as well. This is what she really excels at. So she can create whips and force situations that other characters can escape from. So she's, like I said, she's extremely good pokes. Like Deathwood 1 has a really fat hitbox on it. For example, Dem 3 is a very good low poke that goes under a lot of stuff. He's good for homing in 444. I'll go over all these moves in more detail soon. And she's very strong Oki. So Scarecrow 1+2, for example, at the wall ender. She's alive plus frame pressure. So 443 on block is very good frames to work with on block. And while standing 3, of course, is good frames as well. Scarecrow 1+2. While running 3 is actually really plus on block, so that's worth noting too. So, like I said, you can play Zafina really dry with some little bit of pressure, like I said, from the plus frames moves, and you can throw on some like little chunky stance pressure on. So like maybe Scarecrow, maybe stuff like this from Mantis stance or Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow down for 4, Scarecrow 1+2, or even poking the Scarecrow 3, and then Scarecrow 1, 2, 2. I'll go over these stances in more detail later on. You can really, at core, you can play very dry with her. However, her weaknesses is she has pretty bad combos, in my opinion. For example, her carry is not very good. Like, her carry isn't very good. Even with, like, more optimized carries. Like, that carries wall to wall. That carries mid-stage to wall, but a lot of characters in this game can carry further than this. So for example, stuff like this. As you can see, it's not much of a carry. It still hits the wall, but in a lot of stages she'll miss the wall a lot. So you have to be really wary about your combos with Zafina. And her stuff like downward 1 is minus I think 5 on block. And her while standing 4 is only +2 on hit, and it's -9 on block. So she suffers from bad frame data and some of her basics. Like even her jab is only like, I think +5 on hit or something. +4, sorry, even worse, +4 on hit. So she has some weaknesses. I think mainly the combos and her frame data and her basics. So like I said, for strengths, top tier movement, great pokes. Down 3 is like one of the best low pokes ever. So, it is launch punchable on block, but if you go into Mantis, it's -13, and she can block on Mantis. There seems to be some confusion about this. I'll talk about Mantis more later on. She has very high wall damage output, so upward 1 into downward 1, 2, 1. I'll show it later on again. And she's good Oki with Scarecrow. Again, she's poor frame advantage on a lot of moves, so 1, 2, while standing 4, downward 1. For example, her homings are a bit slow, so 444 is quite slow, back 2 is quite slow, so it can be a bit tricky keeping opponents in check, stepping up close, and her combos are not too good with wall carry and damage. So let's start with some of her good moves then. So down 3, this is probably the main reason to play Zafina. So her down 3 is +4 on hit, I think. It is it's +2 without the stance, and it's +4 if you go into Mantis afterwards. You hold down to go into Mantis. So basically, what you want to do with this, it also has really good tracking to opponents sidestep left. So if you think they're going to sidestep left, you can do down 3. And on counter hit, she gets if you go into Mantis, you can do this as a follow up. Or if you go into no stance, I believe back 3 is max. Or if you want a bit better Roki, you can do it while standing 4 and chase them down. So this is an extremely strong low poke, and it's definitely one of the better low pokes in the game. I can't recommend this move enough. So if you're playing Zafina, you're probably going to spam down 3 basically. and then make them duck into her downward one, which is what we're going to talk about. So Zafina's downward one is pretty strong because there's a fat hitbox on it. It tracks one direction completely, so it tracks side set right, opponent's side set right completely. It is -5 on block, but she has extensions to make the opponents afraid to challenge her. So she has downward 1-2, which is a -13 mid, downward 1-2-1, which is also -13 mid. I believe the second hit is natural to the third, so she has that. You also, if you think, you can also make them want to duck into downward 1-2 mid, because she has downward 1-4, which is a high, also natural combo, and it spins. I think it's +12 on hit, and it wall splats as well. So it's Zafina's whip punishment of the wall is quite scary with this in the way. So the whip something, you sidestep, and then bam. And as I said earlier, she's quite high damage output. So downward 1 is definitely very good with Zafina. It's a very low hitbox, so it's actually hard to crush under. And then, like I said, if they want to challenge after downward 1, you have all the extensions to bully them with. Another move, 4-4-4. This is what you want to use at range, because not only does it have a lot of range and it's a homing, it also has some pushback and block, so you can space it out and use Zafina's amazing movements to still bait out whips. So as you can see, it's quite abusable. Of course, it's safe. It knocks down, it wall splats, does everything you want it, and he has good Oki afterwards. You can chase them up and still have a good frame advantage. And also, it can low crush. Zafina actually hops over it a little bit. She like jumps a little bit, so it can actually go over some lows. So definitely recommend using this low 4-4-4. Sorry, this move 4-4-4. Safe mid, homing, a little bit low crush. Another move is downward 2 from Zafina. This is like gonna be one of her main whip punishes. Now, it's not 15 frame like a standard downward 2. It's actually 16 frame. However, it's only -12 on block, and it tracks both directions really well. So you want to use this as a whip punisher mainly, or a block punisher, but sometimes you can just throw it light. Like I said, it's only -12, and it actually high crushes a little bit. As you can see, she like brings her head down a little bit, so it actually high crushes a little bit. So if you think your opponent's going to jab at you at certain frames, you can crush under with downward 2. Or if you think they're going to step into a button, you can downward 2 as well. Make it a little bit read. That's downward 2. 4-4-3. This is maybe my favorite move with Zafina. So 4-4-3, it can go into Scarecrow stance. If you on block, it's actually like +4 on block. So Zafina has quite a few options at +4. And so she can go into Scarecrow. You can hold back to not go into Scarecrow, or you can just not do anything to go into Scarecrow. And I'll get the exact frames to you. So it's +4 on block always, Scarecrow or not. And so you can bully them. It's also counter mid launcher. I forgot to mention. It's actually a counter launcher as well. So you can, if you get that, you know, make sure you combo off it. And on block, on Scarecrow, you have to do something like this. So definitely a move you should abuse with Zafina, especially on tech roll opponents. If you don't know what they're gonna do, you might as well chuck a 4-4-3 and then make them have some plus frames, a beefy mid for yourself. So definitely 4-4-3 from Zafina if you want to apply pressure. Another move is forward 4, which is a nice move with Zafina. So it's a 14 frame high. It's kind of linear, but it does give you a knockdown into free. What was it? 4-4, I think this. So 4-4 into damage 4-2. 1 or 2? 2, yeah. Damage 4-2. So you get a little bit of damage and Oki afterwards here. So it's definitely pretty good. 14 frame high is definitely worth using sometimes. Because Zafina lacks in counter hit tools, so these kind of quicker moves you want to use. 1+2. Now 1+2 is a range counter launcher. It is unsafe on block, however. But you can mix up their punish timing if you just do 1+2 on its own, and if they try to interrupt the 1+2 here, you can get them with this. Obviously, Zafina gets a really big combo of this. So if they try to interrupt after 1+2 on block, you can counter hit them for a lot of damage. So and 1+2-4 afterwards is only -10. So it's, and even if you land 1+2 on counter and finish it anyway, you still get a combo in it. Still get a combo. Even if you do all 3 hits, you still get a combo. So try not to use it too much, but it is there. It is there. And it also tracks. It actually tracks to the opponent's sidestep like pretty well. So if you get a read, you can do this also. So just use it well if you get a read on your opponent's timings. Nail them with the 1+2. Stand back 2 is a safe mid. You can get. I think the follow up was this. Follow up was. Yeah, I think Dan 2 is the follow up. So Dan 2 is the follow up to this, and it's good because it high crushes a little bit. Now the main thing about this move is it actually tracks both directions. So if you think your opponent's going to step, or you're not sure what direction, you can do Dan back 2 to track in both directions. So it's really good to keep them in check. So for example, like 1-2 on hit and then Dan back 2. You keep them then, keep them in check. So it's a very good anti-pick poke tool. Like if you think they're gonna sidestep pressure you, you can throw this out to nail them. And like I said, in counter, you get all this. You get all this for free. Or while standing 1-2. Now this is like kinda hit confirmable. It's a likely hit confirmable, I think. So while standing 1-2. So if you see something whiff over you as you press 1, you can finish it. As it's natural on up to 2 hits are natural on natural hit. Combo natural. My English is there. Natural combo. So if you see them do something as you press while standing 1, you can finish it. You can kind of visually confirm and then finish it. So it's a skill to get down with Zafina. It's quite strong to do. And it can be delayed as well on hit, on block. But however, they can block the first one and jab always because it interrupts the second hit as well. So not too good as a delayed tool, but you can kind of look out for this anyway. So it's just nice to like kind of randomly duck sometimes and then check out while standing 1. Now while standing 2, this is Zafina's big counter hit launcher. This is Zafina's big normal hit launcher. It's her bigger launcher on like stagger lows and stuff like that. But she doesn't have the delayed hop kick. So this is your punish on stagger lows. Now the thing about this move, it high crushes, but it also goes under some mids. It has really good crushing. And if you hold them back, you can roll back and make some punishes with. So it's actually good as a round ender if you're not sure, because if you hold them back, the character's punish will whiff if you just did while standing 2 on its own. So some characters punish the whiff of that if you do them back. But this is much better in Type 2. It's not as viable as it is in this game, but it is there anyway. And like I said, it goes under some mids, so you can kind of chuckle it sometimes. You can just like duck and randomly do it. It's not too bad on block as well. Double check that. While standing 2, yes, it's -14, so it could be worse. So like I say, if you think they're going to do something like a high or even certain mids, in while standing 2 under. And let's talk about Zafina's stance. That's kind of where her. It's not a key part of her gameplay, but it is nice to have them. So she has Scarecrow, she has Mantis, and she has Tarantula. So basically, I think Scarecrow is the best stance, but let's start with Tarantula anyway. So this is probably the weakest stance that she has, but it does have a few moves going for it. Now I'm only going to talk about the good moves in each stance, in my opinion. The good moves. Like she has a lot of jank in the other stances, but let's talk about the good moves. Let's talk about the good. So Tarantula, the first one is Tarantula 1. This is a +5 on hit. +5 on hit in this game, yep. So if you hit them with Tarantula 1, you can frame trap with Tarantula 3 afterwards, which is the mid option out of it. So but basically that's the kind of the meta game here. You can keep harassing them at 1, and if they try to challenge or duck, you can hit them with the 3. And if you hit them with the 3, you get a free Tarantula at 1+2 afterwards, which leaves you in Mantis. And I think Tarantula at 1+2 is like, I don't know if it's like borderline seeable or not, but it's there anyway. So those are the 3 main moves you want to use: Tarantula 1, Tarantula 3, and Tarantula at 1+2. Obviously that's launch punishable block, so be careful with this. Let's go to Mantis. This is a really good, this is important stance to know, because you're going to go into this from Den 3 a lot. Because if you go into Den 3 into Mantis, it's only minus 15, and you can't block in Mantis. This is kind of confusing some people, but you can't block in Mantis. So if you do Den 3 into Mantis and hold back, you're only going to eat minus 13 moves. I mean 13 frame startup moves. So don't worry too much about it. Anyway, so if you think your opponent's going to press buttons after like Den 3 on into Mantis, you can do Mantis 1. This is your quickest way to exit out of Mantis. So this is a 13 frame startup, I believe. Let me I should double check before I start this. But Mantis 1 is 13 frame startup. So if you think your opponent's going to press buttons after Den 3 on hit, you can do Mantis 1-3 into hold back to stay safe and keep them in check. I believe the string jails. I'm going to check that, but I believe that string jails. So it's just basically just a quick mid to check them. And let's see here. So Mantis 1 is important, very important. Mantis 3 is a counter launcher. So if your opponent's going to respect you, you can start bullying them with Mantis at 3, which is a counter launcher, and it gives Zafina some plus frames. And because Zafina is in Mantis, she's considered Crouch Cast status. So highs will whiff over her. So highs will whiff on her. So your opponent has to do like mids, like downward ones for example. So if you hit them with this, then do Mantis 1 afterwards, it'll frame top them. It should anyway. Or if they like keep jabbing you, if they try to jab you, then you can start doing more stuff like this. And if you think they're going to press something kind of slow, like pretty slow, you can do Mantis Den 3-1, which is a counter launcher in this game. So Mantis Den 3-1. So Mantis Den 3-1 into this combo here. So that's the 4 main important moves for her, I think. So Mantis 1, Mantis 3. There's a few strings out. Mantis 3, so 3, 4, which is double low. 3, 4. Sorry, 3, 4, down 4. This is like triple low string, or 3, 4, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 4, which is a mid option. Now, personally, I would just stick to Mantis 3. Maybe sometimes do Mantis 3, 4. But I won't really go any further than that, because beyond that, the mix-up's not really in your favor. So Mantis 3 is just good to bully them. Bully them and make them do something. Of course, a Mantis down for 2 is a safe mid launcher. You can do something like this, for example. You do 4-4-2 afterwards. Well, easy combo is down for 1-4 anyway. But you can do 4-4-2. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this, guys. I'm gonna try one more time. Okay, well, it works. I can assure you it works anyway. But I probably will just stick to this anyway. Actually, I should spoke with down for 4-4-2 actually. I'll just quickly say this now, because 4-4-2 is actually good. I forgot about it. So 4-4-2 is a +1 on block. I think it's +1. +1. Oh, sorry, it's listed. Yeah, it's +1. Yeah, it's +1. So it's +1 on block high. That may not sound so appealing because it is quite slow, but it is a counter launcher. It is a counter launcher. So as you can see, that's quite good. It is a counter launcher. So if you think your opponent is going to step into buttons, you can nail them with this. So it's very, very, very good. And so go back to Mantis. She has more stuff out of it, but honestly, the ones I mentioned are probably the best stuff that she has. Maybe you guys can correct me. I think those moves are definitely the better moves that she has in those. I'm only going to list I'm going to say like key moves really. So Scarecrow, this is, in my opinion, is her best stance and her most common one, because her 10 frame punish 1-3 goes into Scarecrow. So this one is probably going to be the one that you're going to be in a lot, especially, well, Scarecrow and Mantis you're going to be in boat a lot, so just know your options from them. So you usually transition into this from 1-3, 4-4-3, 4-2-3 at the wall, or 10-4-3. So you can transition into Mantis from those. So let's start with Scarecrow 1+2. So this is on block. This is a +6 on block mid counter launcher. So that's really good, and it also hits grounded too. So this move is really strong for Oki. And so I'll show you a situation at the wall where this is really silly. So if you get a wall splat, get the wall. So if you're at the wall, you can do 4-2-3, Scarecrow 3, and you're in a 50-50 situation where Scarecrow 1+2 will connect, or you can do Scarecrow down 4-4-4, which I'll talk about soon. So if they stay on the ground, Scarecrow 1+2 hits. If they stand up on block, you're a +6 in their phase. So it's like a win-win situation for you. So yeah, Scarecrow 1+2 is definitely a main one you want to use. It also kind of launches. I don't know if I mentioned that. Awesome. Scarecrow down 4-4 is another main low as Scarecrow because it does this. Counter hit. I think you can. I heard someone say you can do this. Yeah, it's also a counter launcher as well, so it's very good. It's very good low. She's very plus, and she goes into Mantis afterwards. And then you can do your Mantis shit like down for 3-1, then 3-1, or down for 2, or volley them with Mantis 3, keep going, or just get out of it. Mantis 1. The Scarecrow down for 2 is definitely one to use. It tracks both directions really well, and it puts the opponent in crouch anyway, so they can't step some stuff from that. And you can hold back just to keep standing. And I think if you go back and it hits counter, you can just do back 3 for a follow up. Yeah. So Scarecrow 3 is definitely Scarecrow down for 4 is definitely a good move. Scarecrow 1 is important because it's the fastest move Zafina has out of Scarecrow. So if you want to keep your opponent in check, if you want to just like kind of stagger pressure a little bit, so like make them block this and then go for down 4-4 if they try to jab you, for example. Or if you Scarecrow 2 is pretty good too because Scarecrow 2-2 is mid. It's only -10 and has some pushback. So if you space it a little bit, some characters can't even punish it. Some characters can't even punish this on block if they have weak jab range. So Scarecrow 2-2 is definitely worth using. It counter hit launches, so you can do this. But if you do the whole thing, you just get a little knockdown. So if you sometimes just use Scarecrow 2 on its own. Or you can be cheeky, like do Scarecrow 2 and on block. If they try to jab interrupt, you can Scarecrow down 4-4 to crush under. Scarecrow 3 is Zafina's main poke out of Scarecrow because it's 13 frame mid. It tracks one direction really well, and you can bully them with like Scarecrow 3-3, which is a natural mid string, or Scarecrow 3-4-3, which is a knockdown ice splat. So Scarecrow 3-4-3, which is a mid high natural string, or Scarecrow 3-3, which is mid natural also, or you can do Scarecrow 3 down for 4. So this it's not natural obviously, but the low knocks down and you get this. So if you condition them well, you can cheese them out a little bit with this. Make them afraid to interrupt you because of the low, and then launch them. So use the Scarecrow strings wise, basically. So 1 or 2 moves that I should have mentioned at the start. So back 1+2. This used to be really bad in Type 2 because it's really minus on hit. But in this game, it's only -2 on hit. It's still launch pushable, but it's only -2 on hit. So this puts Zafina at the perfect range to bait whips So if your opponent likes to mash afterwards, you can just make them whiff and destroy them with Temper 2, for example. Or Temper 3-4, which is a pretty good whip punisher. It's not good to throw edge, but a good whip punisher. You get this afterwards. Or you can do this for max damage. 3, 4. 1, 2. So that's and back 3 is also good. Let's talk about her 2 power crushes in the game. So back 3 is a safe mid power crush. Now that's rare in this game. I'm just gonna double check the frame phantom. So back 3 is actually a safe power crush. It's -9 on block. So those are pretty rare in this game. However, and it's +4 on hit as well. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's -5 on hit. But yeah, like I said, Zafina has amazing movements that you can use to bait out whips. So it's -5 on hit in crouch, and it's -9 on block. So definitely use this sometime. Definitely in your favor to try. And her other power crush is in Mantis. It's Mantis 1+2. So if you think your opponent's getting cheesy, if your opponent's getting cheeky, and they want to interrupt you, you can do Mantis 1+2 to keep them in check. You get free back 3 after. So yeah, use these 2 power crushes wisely, especially a safe one, or if they want to interrupt your Mantis pressure, nail them with this. It's also mid as well, so if they're ducking something, you can do this. So that's kind of the meta behind Zafina's stance pressure. Let's talk about her punishments. Now this is where she is not too good at. Her standing punishment is nice. Her while standing punishment, in my opinion, is the worst in the game. Maybe. But let's talk about them anyway. So for standing 10 frame, she has 1-3, which is 21 damage. As you can see, you can opt to go into Scarecrow or not. So Scarecrow, just do nothing. To not go into Scarecrow, just hold back. And I showed you the mix up afterwards. So Scarecrow 1+2 on hit, or Scarecrow 10-4. Most characters can't step this, so it's actually like a legit 50-50. Most characters in this game. So if they eat this, you have to guess between a mid plus and block mid, or a low. So it's a pretty nice situation for Zafina. Or if you just want to play safer, you can just go back into neutral and just dance around. She has a more damaging 10 frame in 1-4, which goes in Tarantula. But in my opinion, there's a lot of pushback and hit. So I don't like this situation very much. It's okay against the wall where there's less pushback, so you can bully them with this, for example. But I think if you want to kill the opponents, for sure, Scarecrow 1-4 is definitely the way to go to. For 13 frame is down for 1-4. 29 damage, plus 12 on hit, and plus 12 that you can guard. So nothing's guard. And like I said, it was splats. Pretty decent. For 14 frame, she has down for 1-4. Down for 3-4, sorry, down for 3-4, and it gives them back 4-2 as a follow-up into really good okay. So this is a really good 14 frame punch room, very strong 14 frame. And for 15 frame, she doesn't have anything, unfortunately. Down for 2 is not 15, it's 16 frame, and that's what you do for 16. And that's it for Zafina's standing pressure. Now her while standing punisher, this is where she lacks heavily. For while standing 4, that's all she has till 15 frame. So till she can launch, this is all she has. It's only 18 damage and it's only +2 on hit. So it's not a very good punisher at all. So you can abuse some lows a lot against Zafina. At 15 frame, she gets while standing 1-2. And the juggle, it's a low damage launcher with kind of like a wonky juggle afterwards. So it's not too good as a 15 frame launcher. At 18 frame, she gets while standing 2. That's there. 18 frames she gets. Now let's talk about her combos a bit. And I've shown you her punishment. That's her punishment there. Let's talk about her combos a bit. So Zafina, like I said, her carry is not good in this game, sadly. So I'll just show you a staple of Temper 2. So this is what I would normally do. This is what I normally do off Temper 2. And then you can wall carry from here. Get rid of. So for example, Temper 2, into this. Now, her back one ender, there is a just frame time, or well, not just frame, but there's you have to hit 1+2 on hit, and if you time it well, she goes into like a hit grab animation. So that's usually her ender if you want raw damage. So I would do something like this, for example. The 4-4-2 after is quite tricky. So that would be her 10-4-2 combo. Like in my opinion, that would be the staple. Anything more is just a little bit try hard in my opinion, or like too difficult to do in turn, or in a real match situation. So that would be her main staple of them. So 10-4-2, 4-4-2, then comes back into Scarecrow and back 1+2, back 1 into 1+2 on hit. Or if you want more carry options, you can opt for stuff like this. Off forward 1, 4-4-2, like off forward 1, 4-4. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. It takes some practice. And my execution's not good. But if you read my written guides that I've attached in the description, you can see all these combos. There's more combos in this written. I'm not gonna make a whole combo video here, but I'm just gonna show you the staples for now. So 10-4-2 is the important launcher. I have all these launchers and all the combos written in the description in the link below, so have a look at that. So Scarecrow 1+2, for example, would be something like this. There. I'm gonna try this one more time, but you can get the idea what I'm trying to do here. It's meant to be back 1 into 1+2. It's back 1+2. It does 87 damage. But it's 87 damage. This is all in the description below. The important one is Den 3 on counter. You do Den 1, Den 1 4, then I just do 4-1, 3+4 up here for a little bit of carry. Or you can do something like this. For a little bit of carry. 4-4-2 combo is something like this. Bam. Yeah, this is just gonna be me dropping combos to be honest, but like I said, it's all in the description. It's all in the description. So I just show you the main ones. 10-4-2 combo, Den 3 combo, 4-4-2 combo are the important ones to know. That is my tutorial for Zafina. I really hope it helps. I don't want to make this too long. Oh wait, I'm sorry guys. Wall combos. How can I forget? Okay, so her wall combos. So this would be her main wall combo. So off forward 1, down forward 1, 2, 1. Or you can do this 4, 2, 3, Scarecrow 1+2, and then force the mix up I showed you earlier. Or if they don't want to duck, down forward 4. So it's a 50-50 after the wall situation. I'll just show you some wall carries while I'm here. So some wall carries I would like to do is so that would be a nice wall carry to do. So over 2. Some wall carries here first. I'm sorry guys, I'm embarrassing myself here. But yeah, so that's the kind of wall carry you want to do. Or for closer carry, you can do something like this. The thing about Zafina's combos is you have to be really wary of her carry rates. So you can do dash up downward 1 or dash up upward 1 for the wall combo. So you have to be really conscious of how you carry with Zafina. So sometimes you get upward 1, or sometimes you only get this dash downward 1, 2, 1+2. So make sure you can have a good idea of how he splats the opponents. So you can do dash up upward 1 or dash up downward 1, for example. Upward 1 or downward 1, and then the rest of the combo. Downward 1, 2, delay 1, 2. Delay the ender. So upward 1, 1, 2, delay the ender for max damage. And that is it for Zafina. For real this time. That is the end of the tutorial. I hope this helps. And like I said, I've everything that I've said here written in the link below, in the written version of this guide. And I hope it helps. If you have any questions, you can ask me on Twitter. And yeah, that's it. Thanks guys for watching.